and I suspect we're going to see even more of that here moving forward because we're moving up in divisions too. Our next set's going to be Sauerkraut versus Tabsies, two just killer players in their own right.
Another promotion match, this time from Copper 2. Sauerkraut did come away in the lead of their last meeting, but
It was
I think it was a
7-3.
very similar game to the previous. Just one spy win and the rest of it just hard sniper victories.
Yeah. So there was two spy wins from Sauerkraut. They won 7-3, but they won every sniper game they played again. Tabsies gonna need to do something slightly different. Let's get these picks and bans done.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what have we got? I am in the wrong channel to see this.
I'll start us off then. So our quick bans are gonna be Tabsies banning Veranda and Sauerkraut banning Balcony.
Hey, look, more
Balcony
balcony
again.
bans.
Exactly. Restrictions on pub and aquarium. To note, I mean, with these bans, these players did play previously in the season. They can do their bans around what they chose last time, for example. Uh, the doubled maps and the maps we're going to be definitely be seeing are going to be Taehyun with Tabsies, and then Sauerkraut picking doubled gallery. Beyond that,
Man,
we have Tabsies picking up the remaining aquarium after it was restricted. Sauerkraut not doing the same, avoiding balcony and just going with library. And then if we get there, we will hopefully see some Courtyard, which is Tabsy's pick, and then Sauerkraut has selected Redwoods. So if it does get to it, if it is going to be a very close game 15, game 16, those will be on Redwoods of all places. I know personally, when I get put in this position, I've often chosen a big open map, something like Modern, to try and end off the sets because somewhere like Redwoods would be such a stressful place to end a championship match. We'll see if we get there.
we shall see if we get there indeed, but we've got a long way to go before that happens. Starting things off on doubled Taehyun. Sauerkraut's pick, but Tabsies first up to bat on the spy side of things in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
We've just seen a lot of venues here so far with our previous cast, which were venues that Spy has a lot of things that they can do, a lot of options, up until Courtyard, I guess. Taehyun is another one that goes on that list for sure. Just such a crowded little map. You're never far away from being able to complete 1, 2, 3 missions quickly if you need to.
Yeah, this venue gets really crazy, and there's just so many people hanging around in the front that where in most venues getting away with a really clean bug is a very challenging feat. In this one, it's almost expected. Actually had a go at it just there as the ambassador walked by the second time, but just a little bit too far out.
Toby, we've got a 48%, and as you well know, because you're good at math, if we get a close flirt, that'll put us at 99%. The
Yeah,
true.
yeah, I didn't want to say anything. I'm mad about it.
It's fine. To take a moment here while looks like we're time flirting, just to talk about these players. Tabsies has been a veteran, but not necessarily your typical veteran because they were having like computer and like connection issues. uh, a lot of their time in this community wasn't actually playing. It was collecting replays. They were having trouble with heads-to-head, so they have a ton of knowledge, more so than their gameplay would say. That's another attempted bug,
That's a
and
second bug
that
attempt that
one's going to
doesn't
cop a
take.
highlight.
Highlight on. This has actually been a much slower game from the spy side than you usually see. Tabsy's just now stepping into statues for an inspect, but we've got the one flirt, we've got the one contact, and we've got two failed bug attempts, so no progress on those two. Minute and 10 left to play. Man's got a boogie.
Just to finish up my Tabsies bio, I would say that he definitely has more experience with his sniper as a result. But really does like his clever spy plays. I'm not surprised to see these bugs that are close to landing. because those are some of the most powerful bugs. Those are the ones that you feel really good about getting away with, because they're just the hardest to see if it would have or would have not made.
Okay, but 45 seconds to play and there's like no progress.
It's Taehyun. I mean, somebody might get shot, right? Like you can just take the list here after a reject, and someone might die. There is more than one way to finish on this menu a lot of the time. A take there means Purloin's pretty prohibitive. Completing missions is now pretty prohibitive. Unless it's Cowboy who just been to middle statues gets shot. I don't see the shot coming off either. I think Tabsies has just kind of resided himself to timeout.
Look, they've done a second flirt right at the end.
I mean,
A defiant flirt at the end of the game.
Tabsies just
And
doesn't have their audio on. They just didn't hear the beeping start, and because they were playing that end of game like it was gonna continue going on, but it was over.
there's a
And
green purloin at 0.2 seconds left to play.
yes, Sauerkraut dealing with the pressure there. Cowboy going to middle statues there at the end. The ambassador is safe at the final moment, but they were crowded. Taehyun is a stressful place for the beeping to start, but Tabsies just saying contact wasn't enough to trigger any
Yeah.
particular shot for Sauerkraut, and it's going to be another sniper win. Hopefully, we can see some spy wins because we haven't
Okay, but
seen too many
in all
today.
seriousness, it is not easy to hold a shot on Tan. Like that's is
Yeah,
already a sign of really stout sniper play.
yeah. I mean, Tabsies there was trying to complete missions, and then just after they got 48 instead of 49 after two failed bugs, maybe they noticed the highlight too, and they went, okay. They made some conscious decision there to not do missions, and we see that also as another mistake that novice spies play, where they go, well, I'm going to try and finish missions in the last 30 seconds when I have no chance of finishing missions,
Yeah.
and it doesn't do you any good. Like a purloin will potentially trigger a civilian shot, but if it's not an option you have to win the game, then don't do it. Um, we'll see some more veteran spy play. I'll talk more about Sauerkraut in 3, 2, 1, playing it. We'll see if we get
So
a
sauerkraut on the spy side this time around against Tabsy's sniper. It's
seduction
always
target.
so awkward in a time of chaos.
I love this. The seduction target wants to be the center of attention. They're definitely the center of our attention, and it's going to be 51% for basically anybody in this conversation. If they're flirting with red dress, because she is dead center.
Including
We might
sauerkraut, who now has 51%.
exactly. Just to talk a bit about Sauerkraut, they are one of the biggest grinders in this game. Them playing the player known as Tacticus, now Nebula. Those two Dutch players just played so many casual games. Took them a bit to get into the
That was
competitive scene,
weird.
but they've shown a lot of success. And both these players are just willing to press the bug button if the ambassador's anywhere near their vicinity.
Although
Uh,
that particular one may have been a little bit ill-advised.
Shout out to our seduction target is still in the middle. Um, Sauerkraut, I've played them 3 times in competitive now, or and I feel like they match well with me. And I was in Diamond, so I have a ton of
There's the
respect for
bug.
Sauerkraut because they can do plays like this, just bug and walk away. A play that I wish Damp Squib had done because it's just
And the end of
so
red.
unexpected, right? It's so hard to like catch the wind up to it. Um, and now Sauerkraut's almost done with missions with minute 43. We just haven't seen this so far today.
Yeah,
Just a
absolutely.
quickly
Got the
paced
bug
game.
done, got the contact done. This should be the last flirt we need, and we still have a minute and a half on the clock.
Yeah, if we're gonna go to middle statues, I would suggest the one that doesn't have a fingerprint, should be the front statues. But we can just end this game, and we don't have a highlight. We may well get away with it too.
Absolutely. It's just a matter of picking your spot, picking your timing, and it is going to be center statues for sauerkraut. Gets a
Does have a
highlight,
finger.
but the thing about a highlight is it probably means there's not going to be a shot.
Yeah. We need to get our statues done, but we're gonna do that comfortably. And
That's Michelin
Tabsies,
Countdown.
that laser's lingering. That's a consideration,
It's
but
lingering, but it's not lining anything up. No shot comes off. Sauerkraut takes a convincing first spy game and finds themselves up 2-0.
yeah, when I talked about make the two plays, right? In this game, it's going to be one, it's always the bug, right? The other is just how smoothly they did the flirting. Just hitting green tests, I mean, that definitely helps. But like, there was no question about our mission completion. At no point did it feel like we were either being suspicious, or like feeling that we're in time pressure. And if you can do that in spy party games, you're gonna win a lot of spy games. Maybe even in this set, Sauerkraut 1-up on the spy and 2-0 in the set so far.
And that puts Tabsies on the spy side once again in Taehyun in 3-2-1 playing it.
I'm having a bit of deja vu. The last set also started with the second and third game, both as teal,
It
and
did, and
we
also
brought it
it's
back.
also it started with the spy win on the second game.
So hopefully, we can get a bit of different narrative from our script writers. If you guys want to give us a few more spy games this time, I'd appreciate it.
So, very open conversation to start off the festivities here, although the ambassador is, as far as the sniper is concerned, in quite a bit of danger.
Yeah, Ambassador's now passed us twice, but we have no cover. We're actually ignoring Toby entirely. That was awful. Uh, Bit of sloppy play, really, from Tabsies, which is surprising.
Yeah, this is probably going to be a timeout out the back here, although, no, it looks like he decides otherwise. So it's just going to be a slow start on the spy side once again for Tabsies. And all the way from the back to the front window. This is a very unusual spy game so far. First bit of progress is going to be a briefcase fingerprint.
Yeah, we talked about it right around this time when we were playing the second teal game too, in our first set. Players do slow down a bit if they get a bit nervous. This doesn't really feel like slowing down. We're doing fingerprints, we're doing flirted statues. This is definitely like proactively going and finding progress. But we actually have no mission completion with 90 seconds left.
Yeah. So that was the first statue visit. Got us one inspect, got us 34% on the flirt. In conversation now with both Double Agent and the seduction target, so
Banana bread.
we do need to boogie, and this is how we do it. There's the contact coming off. Should be
Sauerkraut
able to get a
finds the
second
highlight
flirt here
too.
as well.
Yeah, before the contact even came off, Sauerkraut was like, I need to watch this person more. Um, we are in the purloin spot. We're gonna flirt here before doing the purloin, and it is a green test. The
That's
green
nice to
test is a bit
see.
of a double-edged sword here, because we were behind the shoji. The sniper wouldn't have been able to see the fade.
Ooh, little
Uh,
safety off there.
Now the list is visible, and with Alice taking, let's see what the reaction is. It's us, Pearls. I think there might have been a reject from Kane too, and that's gonna be the shot. Tabsies finds what is actually a proactive frame.
Yeah,
Let me. Yeah, so and they even like they showed how proactive it was. So at 110, Kane does a reject, and Tabsies is nodding their camera. Know, and I think it particularly they know because it's their seduction target. It's the character they've been looking at the whole game, trying to figure out how they're going to complete flirt. And they've looked at this character and gone, "I wish you'd stop going to middle statues so I could flirt with you." Oh wait, if you've been to middle statues, you have contact because you've been in all the same places I've been in. How about I also give you a purloin? And they did it behind the shoji and also hit the green test. So it's also masked a bit more. But thankfully for Tabsies, Sauerkraut is such a good player that they have the purloin chain tracked down perfectly, meaning they are framing Kane with the knowledge that the frame will work.
yeah. That was just a really nice sequence from Tabsies. It was a very slow start, but they absolutely were able to make it count. That was a beautiful game from the spy side as Sauerkraut gets ready to step back in against Tabsies Sniper in 3-2-1 playing it.
Yeah, when I talked about that magic, like, do two proactive things, framing kind of is hard. Like, framing's really hard. You have to have a lot of knowledge about what's going on. But really, if you just do one good thing, you win a lot of games. Just if you have a timely banana bread or a timely purloin, especially with players who are not as good as Sauerkraut, you'll see a shot. If you do a very clever purloin like this, one thing's enough. Just clicking the purloin button behind the shoji won them the game. They didn't even need necessarily green test.
That was a weird little twitch in conversation, just to get a little bit closer to the seduction target, it looked like. And even then, it's only a 28% flirt. In
Yeah, you
conversation
want
with the double agent as well, but the other conversation is just not very full.
like 32%. If you're gonna do the green test or the white test here, um, with green test, I think you're still looking for like 49%. Like, there's good intervals that you want to hit. That being said, twitching for flirt when it's just your first flirt is insane.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's oh, that's a pretty little bug coming on the way through. It was a little bit visible with the bit of an angle coming out, but it's even still that stuff's not easy to see.
yeah, I'm very critical of this character in general, because the hands for Disney are just huge. Anytime that you do a bug and the hands are visible, it's like more visible, because he just has some giant gloves for hands. That being said, that's one of the bugs that Disney is actually pretty proficient at, especially if you're hiding the bug hand returning with the talk. Sauerkraut making the best out of character, I think, is pretty mediocre, if not just bad.
But he did manage to get a flirt and then a back and forth and another flirt coming off right after it. So that is going to finish up the seduction. So that's two missions down and a fingerprint in pocket.
Yeah, if we can find a fingerprint that isn't just the briefcase here, which I'm pretty sure doesn't have one, or if it does, it's smudged.
Well, it's
Uh,
gone now.
yeah. The problem with drink fingerprints is the ambassador now has a drink in hand, so they're not going to be touching anything for a little bit. They have to finish that drink. And unlike the spy, they're not going to be gulping it.
45 seconds to play as we pick up this
Banana
contact
bread.
here. One mission still to get. What's it going to be? It's going to be hard to get a print out of this.
Ambassador
I think
should
there
drop.
may still be a print active on the center statues there, though.
Center statues is its own mission, though, right? Like, unless we trust the sniper to not shoot us for, like, only doing one cycle, it's probably going to be this briefcase, which is just below us. It's as available as possible. We just need to bend
Very
over,
much
and we'll
is.
see if the bending over is
I
going to be
think
that
you
what
need to
gets us
twitch
killed.
first if you're going to do that, though. There's the
Laser's sitting
print.
on us, but I think it's just the angle they're holding.
There's not enough time for overtime. The shot does
Oh
come off. Tabsies.
no!
Oh! Oh wait! He
He
safetied
waited for
off there, but
overtime.
didn't actually pull the trigger.
Okay, wow. So this is so touch and go. Looking at the times, we completed our fingerprint. I'll start from the top. We picked up the briefcase at 13.6. We completed the fingerprint at 10.3. So overtime was never gonna happen, with the knowledge that we have on the spy side. Tabsies not particularly confident in the shot, and for good reason, right? Like, the bug is really good. The fingerprints were fairly masked. Wants to wait for overtime, but you only get 10 seconds of mission win countdown, and with the fingerprint being done at 10.3, there simply was no overtime. Tabsi's hesitancy here has doomed them, and that's actually Sauerkraut winning both their spy games so far and taking a pretty commanding lead.
Yeah, that was man. It really looked like Tabsies was on top of that, but just wasn't quite able to pull the trigger, and we've already have quite a lot of drama here.
I thought that was a clear shot. I think we're both casting it like it was. He had that safety off on him for multiple seconds, probably 3 or 4 seconds there, and just not actually clicking the left click button, just one click away from this being a closer game than it is currently. But instead, we have Sauerkraut with the lead going into gallery.
Again, it's
We
just 3-1. There's still plenty of time to play. Let's see if Tabsies can make up for the lack of left click. from the spy side of gallery in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
More teal. We've seen more than half the games in this set be teal so far. And Toby's trying to frame us for an early purloin, but we're seeing a chunk. Thank you very
Indeed.
much. Um, just to finish up talking about the last game while this game gets started. Uh, One thing that's been in the SpyParty community for just years is just the idea of completing missions right around 10 seconds. And like the game theory that comes with that, right? So generally, completing missions right at 10 seconds is great because you end up in this sort of situation. You give the opponent no time for overtime. And with that, you go, well, okay, if I know that they're always going to try and complete missions at 10 seconds, I'll just shoot anybody completing missions at precisely 10 seconds. And then you go, well, okay, then I'll do it at 9 seconds and only give you 1 second of overtime, or do it at 11 seconds. Um, Generally, because of all this game theory and all this thinking that goes about it, it circles back around. Completing missions at 10 seconds is just really good. Uh, People stop thinking about, okay, if this person's doing missions at 10 seconds, because in general, spies aren't actually aiming for that 10-second window as much as they possibly could. They don't want to be a 10-second person.
So, relatively slow start to this game. It's just 27% on the flirt and the back conversation, hanging around there for a really long time before heading out to the front for no obvious reason, which is a little bit worrying. This is a venue with some really long walking distances, especially if you have to chase people down, and also a seduction target that is not often super cooperative, so wasting time early on can be really problematic as the game moves forward.
Yeah, I do not like the idea of timer floating. We didn't even get away with that. Instead, we're back to the same bookcase we've already been. The green test will definitely help because all that was really visible is the arm, and the arm's kind of covered by the conversation. Good stuff from here from Tabsies, but it also commits us to another time sensitive mission. Going back to the blue bookcase is going to be something that's going to be hard to weave into the rest of our missions if we are indeed going to be completing missions this game.
Able to pick up a nice little flirt at the big blue painting, though, so that's at least something. We've got the
I
green
would personally
microfilm in pocket, and we're bouncing like a madman.
I would have personally done two time ads, but I know that's not in everybody else's playbook. Trying to complete missions here, gallery is such a trap. So many gallery games, and 20 seconds left on the clock, and a purloin's gone off in the back, and you shoot the person who took the purloin. Like, and there goes
Yep.
the DA too, because
Yeah, at this
why not?
point, you've just lost all chance you have of actually completing missions. You just have to set up for some sort of frame. And this is not the position you want to do it in. That conversation has exploded. There's no cover. There's no time to get anything really nice set up. Now it's starting to fill out a bit more, but the back of the conversation is taken with 35 seconds left to play. Where is this frame going to come from?
Wouldn't mind a swap after Smallman, for example. It's a powerful thing.
A
I
bug on the way into this front
hate
conversation was
that.
not a bad little move.
Get him, Tabsies, get him. Yeah, okay. So this is one of my favorite things that you can do, but it's such a non-competitive thing to do, or maybe too competitive, is the dancing when you don't have mission win completion. So, poor Sauerkraut has to deal with the stress going, oh god, I probably only have 10 seconds left, and he's trying to avoid the shot, while Tabsies is just giggling here, and sometimes we'll get the missed shot. I know I've seen it before from someone like Yosh, has triggered a missed shot with this. Really, it is the like best way to win for Tabsies. He's gonna get shot no matter what, anyways, and he's not completing missions. And Sauerkraut just has to have his heart drop once and see if it's okay. Uh, he's fine. Sauerkraut will make it through the rest of the set and has successfully shot the spy. So, whew, that's
Yeah,
touchy though. It's a mean thing to do as a spy.
Sauerkraut just dodged his own bullet there.
Exactly. To note here, I mean, taking this bug, we saw Tabsies do the purloin at the end of the game too. It feels a bit novice. Like, what are you doing with this bug? Are you gonna try and do two time ads here later? And and make it work at 0 seconds, like you you can. I guess that's an option, but like I don't see it. I would have liked like the swap frame, for example, with the two people at statues with 30 seconds left. Just something a bit more likely to end in a civilian shot than bug, which you're literally relying on the dancing. So,
On to the
either way,
next one.
on to the next.
Sauerkraut on the spy, on gallery, Tabsies on the sniper in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I swear these people were just picking the exact same characters that we saw in the first set. It was Redwood last time, now it's Gallery, but we are playing Salmon. Game 6.
And we
Oh,
do
that
have an
was such
ambassador
a
at the
bug
back
from
of the
the game.
conversation there. So we
Yes,
might be able to do some extreme shenaniganry.
Smallman's gonna eventually
That
leave
was
the,
panic.
yeah, we're fine. We didn't bug, don't worry. Smallman here at the back of the conversation with the ambassador on Gallery, and is like standing behind 5 people. As soon as Smallman becomes visible, I would expect a highlight from Tabsies,
Yeah,
because that
completely
is
agree.
ridiculous. If Smallman was to reject here and then you purloin, it also looks awful. Uh, and Sauerkraut, I mean, he's showing the proficiency, right? Like we've seen these players considering frames already, so no,
Oh, it's fine. The ambassador is large enough to have hid that.
that is ridiculous that that was not more shaded than it was, because that was just full penguin arm wave.
So that we've got 51% on the flirt, in for another. We've got blue book in hand. We've had a few moments of extreme panic that haven't actually come to anything, so everything's fine. There's the flirt getting done in two. First mission completion with 2 minutes and 30 to play. Good lord.
These dumb mistakes though make me just want to rush. Like this is where I go slam the bookcase and ask Toby over Purloin, because you feel like you have a lot more heat and you feel like you have to do something. Doesn't actually feel like we ended up with any heat, and
Although
because we're
Sauerkraut
not
doesn't
dead,
know that.
yeah, because we're not dead, you can like potentially make that presumption as a spy, but generally you're gonna see some more like committal plays, either doing nothing or doing everything when a player has made a few little mechanical stuff like this.
So
Time
Sauerkraut
it.
pulling that blue book all the way out to front of the venue and in conversation with the double agent real quick. Never mind, he's gone. Sad face.
I love double agents. I love to wave at them as they walk away from me.
This is something we often refer to as washing the book. Just try to get it as far away from the bookcases as possible in hopes that the sniper won't remember where it came from when you go back. We do hit a green time ad while we're out there to make up some of that time lost, but still not a position you want to be in.
Yeah, and this is sort of the sort of time that you want to be hitting those greens. You can get away with white time ads at some points in the game, but right around there, it's gonna go from like yellow to green. It can actually be pretty easy to catch the time ad, especially on gallery where there's nowhere to look. You just go to the front of the party once you see a time ad. So important green to hit here. The microfilm has not resulted in us getting shot. We're 2 missions down, and I think the more important one, the microfilm, has been gone away scot-free.
Well, this is why people do this whole washing the book thing, because it's the easiest way to get away with the microfilm for someone who's not really paying a lot of attention. That's a bug! It's a
That's
helicopter bug! Proper old school coming through the doorway there, but you can absolutely get away with stuff like that on this venue because the
Are we swapping
sniper
here
is
too?
spending so much time looking on the back. We are indeed swapping the statue. The statue has been blocked, and we're just going to stand there and block it so
Four
we can't
seconds.
get a look. Steps away
Two.
at 1 second.
One.
There it is, but it's too late to react. And Sauerkraut finishes from the spy side in dramatic fashion.
If you have on your bingo board, I want a spy who's gonna win with bug, microfilm, swap, and seduce. Congratulations, you just won a lot of money at the horse track because what a ridiculous setup of missions. No contact. We're doing swap without the inspect. You've gone away with 3 hardtails. Sauerkraut just masterclass, not even a particular rush, just getting away with good hard tells. The helicopter bug right at the door only works because it is so unexpected, but helicopter do go burr.
Well, this is the thing about this venue. Because the sniper is so busy staring at that back conversation, trying to piece together what's happening back there, you can quite often get away with murder out in the front and no one will notice because they're zoomed in.
Yeah, and it's hard to when it comes to like these walking bugs or like both characters walking sort of things, the lack of wind up is really hard to see. So like say you're playing on a map like Gallery and the bastards at the front windows. What are you gonna do? Walk at them for 5 seconds and then bug? No matter what angle you take, they're gonna see it coming.
Yeah.
In this sort of situation, you need to be on it at all times. And Tabsies, who's generally a sniper who is on it, looks away for a second. Sauerkraut does a 360 and gets the headshot.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's not a good metaphor in a game that literally has headshots. But continue. More gallery. Let's go.
Three. More gallery. Tabsies on the spy this time around against Sauerkraut's sniper. One more in three, two, one, playing it.
720 no scope him. Tabsies, you got this.
And Tabsies has had a hard time getting any momentum going on the spy side this set, but this nice early flirt at the painting should hopefully help things out, get them moving a little bit quicker this time around.
It's just really impressive stuff here from Sauerkraut. Just every game feeling like really testing, and Tabsy's just failing the quiz a couple times here. Tabsy's spy game is going to be hard to replicate, right? They did win a spy
Ooh,
game,
well, that's a
but
really nice start. The ambassador drops in to say hi at the perfect location to just get insta bugged without a second thought.
yeah, as I was saying, Tabsy's win was a frame game, which are harder to replicate. But if you're just going to get fed bugs like that and take them, have the heads up play to just click the bug button immediately as the ambassador comes in, you're gonna get away with them a lot of time.
And that's a surprisingly big green test right there because the seduction target can often be difficult to track down on this venue, but being able to hit it the
Banana
green
bread.
from a distance like that when he does finally drop in to say hi, that's 72% instead of like 65. So that's a big deal.
I do
Attempted
not. Yeah,
contact, double agent steps away from us before it happens though, which is sad.
I do not like this drink take with the ambassador at the blue bookcase. There's definitely something that we could have wanted to do. Queen's gonna smudge the fingerprints anyways. The big reason this drink take's okay is we've already got the bug. Like the ambassador coming behind us there. The drink is actually kind of giving us a bit of an alibi. We can't bug again because we have a drink in our hand and also we get the bug.
Didn't get any closer to the seduction target while waiting for this timer flirt, though, so we're still at a distance, and he wasn't able to hit yet another green for it, so it is just going to be 97%. Under 2 minutes to play now, and we've got gifted some big progress early on. We need to take advantage of this. We need to move.
Tabs been looking at this blue bookcase. Previously it was the double agent, or sorry, the ambassador. Now it's the double agent. Uh, Cute little redirect here. This might set up a flirt. Yeah,
It
good,
did
good stop.
indeed. And that's the flirt done. Just under a minute and a half to play. The problem is, what do we do now? We're chasing the double agent outside to see if we can get a contact. It looks like it's going to be statues first, so maybe an inspect swap to finish up the festivities. Maybe just the inspect if we can get the contact out of it.
Like this, I like this statue. It's a bit of a pit stop.
One
Uh,
cycle, shockingly enough. That's
yeah.
surprising to me.
So there were two things, right? The double agent could go into conversation in the front, and then we just after the statue we go there, or they could go to the window and make us look like fools if we chase them. So Tabsies smartly goes and gets the inspect, and I say pit stop because we can now race, right? We can go do a contact and then finish up inspect
Banana
whenever
bread.
we want to.
There's the contact indeed. 30 seconds to play. There was a very awkward entry into conversation. I think Sauerkraut is getting nervous about Tabsies and maybe Rocker in this back conversation. That zoom out as soon as Tabsies starts moving, though, is very worrying to me. Here's the
Girl, let's
statue
go.
pickup.
Ugh.
There's the bullet. Sauerkraut has had the pedal to the metal this entire match, and they are not slowing down. It's 6-1.
They won 7-3 last time. So like Sauerkraut favorite going into this game, no matter really how you cut it. Scoreline, however, is pretty pretty rough, and I don't think it's necessarily not indicative of the game. Sauerkraut's just been playing that well. Tabsies hasn't really done that much wrong, but it's just Sauerkraut looking brutal. I was saying right there at the end of the game, it felt like General was about to screw us out of the game anyways. If the General there picks up that statue right as we're trying to inspect, so we would have had to swap potentially as our fourth mission. But really, Sauerkraut just having that spidey sense, just going, this feels like a spy. They've been to inspects. Uh, this is someone I need to watch out for. And a game that only has 3 highlights, very much ready to take the shot.
So we've got one last game on the gallery before we're done with the doubled venues. It's going to be Sauerkraut on the Spy once more with quite a lead. Tabsies on the Sniper looking to claw their way back into this in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
The first thing the Tapsy has to do is not lose any more sniper games. You have a lot of control over sniper. You can win all your sniper games if you play perfectly. That's not necessarily always the case with the spy. Even the worst player can take a random shot in balcony and get you 1 out of 6 times. But on the sniper side, you can shoot spies. They have to do things and Tapsies hasn't done that so far. In part because Sauerkraut's play has been varied, but all just backbreaking spy plays every single time.
Yeah, you really do need to lock it down from the Sniper side if you want to start making comebacks. You need to start making some cool stuff happen from the Spy side as well. But first things first, lock it down when you're behind the rifle. Sauerkraut starts things off with a quick 34% flirt at the front conversation here. Might just wait on the timer flirt. Probably almost has the timer cooldown done already. And indeed, it is the timer flirt. A second white test brings us up to 68%, which is quite reasonable. Again, the seduction target can absolutely cause some problems on this venue, so getting it squared away sooner rather than later can be quite nice.
Yeah, and on gallery, there's such a huge cost here. A common play that you'll see in this position is just heading off to the window, or like the not the win like over by the little red velvet bar, just to make this go 10-20 seconds faster. Um, but you can also just do time ads. Like there's ways to go around this. Things like contact into Purloin still only take 2 seconds, so you can always finish missions despite the monstrous length of gallery.
And that's the flirt done.
I wouldn't hate a contact Purloin, by the way. It doesn't feel like the sort of play that we've seen so far.
Oh! Oh, what is
What?
this? What is this shenaniganry? We just swapped while walking, more or less. Tabsies hates it. Shot comes off. That could
So
have been really cool if Sniper had their eyes on something else. Like if you can manage to time that with Toby lifting his tray back up or something like that, then maybe. And he actually did. He managed to get a look at that, but because of where Toby's was, it was right in the middle of the camera.
yeah, the ambassador walking here, I mean, is something that could be dangerous, but I feel like just one of these plays that you just do in part because you're up so much in the set. Sauerkraut just looking to hit it out of the park, and unfortunately, it's just a big fly ball.
Well, Sauerkraut can absolutely afford a few of those. Tabsies, it's time to set up on the spy side once more, this time on the land of shenanigans itself, the Aquarium. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
How do you think Toby gets to the top shelf stuff? Do you think?
Oh, I think that's just for show. All the
Okay.
stuff that actually gets used is on the bottom too.
You don't think there's a ladder hiding behind one of those walls, ready to go, in case Smallman's just like, "Hey, I want that top shelf tequila."
Of course, it would be Smallman.
I don't know who drinks tequila in this party. You like your first instinct would be Carlos, but no, I know he for a fact is drinking some cerveza. Either way, 34% flirt and generally a slow start for this game.
Yeah, it's the tale of Tabsies this evening. It's maybe a flirt early, but very slow starts after that. In this case, just hanging out for quite a while in an innocent conversation, trying to figure out what they want the flow of this spy game to be. And as they try to figure this out, the flow of it is just ticking away.
Yeah, we've seen Tabsies play some very measured games, and it hasn't worked. The problem with measured games is they are the most common way that you see a spy party, especially a high-level spy party game, go. And Sauerkraut's instinct for what a spy looks like is so.
Ooh, that was a really nice little move, completely hidden behind the
Woo!
shark, gets right back into position afterwards. A beautiful little move from Tabsies, but we've got to finish the missions to make it count.
We did cough there, by the way. Uh, and we did take a highlight shortly after, so it feels like Sauerkraut might be on to some shenanigans here.
This
Uh,
is not how we make it count.
yeah, I think we were trying to flirt with Alice real quick. Maybe do a banana bread split behind the shark too. Just really lean into the craziness that was those like 5 seconds the shark gives us cover. Instead, we've coughed, and it's gonna be rough because if you look at the rest of the party, we are one of two highlights.
This is a good time
Banana
for a.
bread.
Oh, it was a good time for a contact before Boots stepped away.
Yeah,
That hurts. That was the
congratulations.
only highlight.
And even something like this flirt, where we have to like take a path to step closer, could be construed as spy behavior because it is. It is spy behavior. We're doing it for a reason.
Well, that being said, we just finished the flirt. That's our third mission done. Still a minute and 10 to play. All we need is the one more.
We can do stuff behind the shark, but it's a bit harder to time with Orange Starry. If you're trying to like time your pickup of a statue, it's really hard to say how long it's going to take to walk across all of Aquarium, for example.
Indeed.
This is going to be behind Shark if we demand this, and we have. This is kind of clever, and this is actually a place where you can Shark walk
Break
too.
a little bit too early, though. Didn't quite get the timing, couldn't tuck in behind the shark in time. The shot comes off, and Sauerkraut finds yet another. It's 7-2.
Yeah, and for Sauerkraut, who's played so much Spy Party, they might be one of the few players who has seen this multiple times. We've seen a lot of book shenanigans. We've seen a lot of swap shenanigans. The purloin behind Shark is such precise timing, and both Sauerkraut being prepared for it and Tabsies, I mean, between also just timing it slightly too early was also the slowest character. It's harder to dodge out of the way with Orange Sorry than anybody else in the game. Um, it all results. Is that actually set or
No, it's first to nine. So
first to nine? So one more.
it's
But
7-2 right
7-2,
now.
so
Yeah.
it still needs
really?
two more. Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can't count. I thought we were
Sauerkraut.
Brazil.
Sauerkraut back on the spy side. Tabsies on the sniper this time around in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Thank you, Lazy Bear. On the note of things that happen with sharks blocking, Lazy Bear should definitely get a good portion of that credit.
Oh yes.
Uh, but also credit here for hosting. We truly appreciate all of our hosts because they are a rare breed. Being able to control and make these vodcasts work is an art form. Making microfilms behind shark work is also an art form. That wasn't behind shark at all. That's actually a much higher shark.
Yeah. So that is blue microfilm in pocket off the top of the game. Steps into statues to pick up 51% on the flirt and a pair of inspects as well. Tabsies is very much the opposite of Sauerkraut as far as the spy games have been going this evening, and you can tell Sauerkraut is flying off the start here.
Yeah, Sauerkraut's just playing with like a ton of confidence. It's not like crazy amounts of pizzazz. They're not doing like the nuttiest things in the world, but they are just confidently doing whatever they do. And obviously, it hasn't always paid off, right? Like that swap cheesy, like middle of gallery, just got them shot immediately. But they are swinging for the fences, and once in a while, you're gonna hit home runs. We've hit quite a few today.
We have indeed, there's the second flirt here in the back conversation. This one white to bring us up to 85%.
There's only two things this could be for, right? It's one, flirt pairing, which is a terrible thing to be highlighted for, because that means you're being watched way too carefully. Or it's just being in like a position that's like really dangerous and just assuming that anybody is coming to this position is like potentially the spy. Either way, both of those are very soft highlights and not the sort of highlights you want to be getting your highlight for. You'd prefer if you could get it for like a real reason, like completing a mission, for example.
Well, here is the green book take. We're going to wait for a moment to get behind the shark to actually put this microfilm back, I think. So we've got a little bit of time to work with as long as we're okay with having our handful for a bit. Back into green we go. Shark is still a little bit too high to fully hide this, I think, but
We timed this not particularly brilliantly, but it's gonna,
honestly, with the positioning of the sniper, this was more than good enough.
yeah.
Green test as well.
I think it might actually end up in our favor because it's just a bit less suspicious that it wasn't fully covered.
This is very
Doing
true.
microfilms right at that 120 time, right where the shark goes there, uh, does result in a lot of heat if the sniper's paying attention.
So that is transfer done. We've got flirt done. We've got two inspects and stepping into statues to pick up our third. We could finish with an inspect swap here with 40 seconds left to play. It's very possible.
When we talk about,
Not going to give it the chance. Tabsies sees Sauerkraut there as the shark is approaching and is having none of it. Shot comes off. Tabsies picks up another.
yeah, the swap did formally go off 0.1 second before the shot went off, which means the sniper had no chance to see it. We were confident to shoot for the microfilm and the inspects. The swap was just gravy. Tabsies, Irish, and making a bit of a comeback here. I think that's two in a row, so good stuff. In three, two, one, playing it. Not two in a row. I can't count. Tabsies is playing a bit better than they were at the beginning of the set, though. I'll take that. Be confident
Yeah,
about it.
that was quite that was quite a nice one from the sniper side of Tabsies. Now on the spy side of Library, which is both a bit of a playhouse for the spy and a very difficult situation because on the one hand, the sniper can only see a third of the venue at a
In the end of
time,
red.
but on the other, they've got an extra mission they have to get done. So it's going to be a fake contact into 41% flirt. Usually you don't like seeing fake contact so early on in the game because you don't want to give those four lowlights away this early.
It ends up being like a pretty good like contact if we had it for real. Um, Definitely would have advised that. The fake here though is just resulting in low lights and maybe suspicion, but like nobody's gonna get framed here. Nobody's close to finishing. You're just giving a bit of credit to anybody who's left in the party, basically. Ambassador is going to walk behind us. Nope. And he was being watched anyways. Sauerkraut does not want to give Tabsies one of these more interesting or difficult bugs to hit.
Yeah, if the ambassador had decided to come across the front of us there, we were in a pretty good position to hide the arm behind the pillar if we were going to try something, but it would have been dangerous enough with the lean that would have happened that probably wouldn't have been worth it with Sauerkraut looking so carefully. Tabsies, you've heard it before. It's a slow start as we step into the green bookcase.
Yeah. I mean, the big thing with Tabsies is I really respect their sniper play. It's very studied. But they struggled with Sauerkraut just pulling out the full playbook. It feels like Sauerkraut's had things they've wanted to do probably all season, and has been saving it for the championship, and it's paid off a lot. The spy side for Tabsies has just got a lot less experience because they just weren't able to play like against players, and were just collecting and shooting replays for a very long time. Their spy play is less mature than their sniper play, and we're seeing it here just kind of resulting in these not like painfully slow, but just slow enough that they're running themselves into tough situations and still getting heat for it too, because Sauerkraut is playing so well.
Tabsies got bailed on for a seduce, so dropped
Ouch.
into the little window pad there to pick up a quick timeout to gain some of that time back, but still 2 minutes and 30 to play and still just have that one flirt. Here's the second. And though it is a close green, it's still just 92%. 2 minutes and 15 seconds left to play, and not a single mission completion with 5 still to get. And the only progress we have is these 2 flirts.
Yeah, I genuinely rolled my eyes when we only did one time ad. If you're gonna do such a play, like you're gonna step out of conversation, like you're risking the whole game in that spot. I don't know, do two, do three. Like, uh, you're
Need
not
to get more
really
time on the
changing much.
clock. You're moving so slowly at this point. Even with the amount of time you've just gained yourself, it's still not enough. Now, we were able to get a print off of the blue bookcase and the blue book in hand, so we suddenly have a few more options, but the fact that Tabsies just sat there in conversation for that long, there's just no time. There's no way this is going to happen, right?
Green bookcase here, and it'll be our first mission completion actually. That we are close on a few other ones.
A minute and 15 to play as that book goes down. One mission in the books. 4 to go.
Can't really afford to do this flirt, because it would be bookcase to bookcase, and we've never seen an AI do it, so we assume they can't. Uh,
This had to be statues as the panic spot to save time because we need to get the mission completions.
I mean, I would
45
have said
seconds
time
to
ad,
play
but
now.
yeah, I mean, I feel like I time added probably more than half my games on library for a reason, because it's such a tough map to like find these opportunities, and the opportunities are so good if you can find them. Uh, the microfilm here was good, though it wasn't really opportunistic. It was just using a lot of our clock to do it. We're requesting drink. This could be a purloin, but Duke is a low-lighted SDA.
Even
It's
if
gonna
you
be a
do get the purloin off, like what's the play from there? You've got 15 seconds and 2 completions. Here it is,
retest
the
two
purloin
behind
on
the
the white
pillar, so
desk.
it's super suspicious. Sauerkraut might not even shoot this. Hey, he will.
He shoots anyways.
Yeah.
Sauerkraut. The man only did 3 missions and he got shot.
We did do a contact that should also give us a credit. So we did 4.5 missions from the sniper's perspective, but the reality is Tabsies just put themselves into these tough positions, continued clicking buttons right until the either the clock times out, or in this particular case, uh, sniper gets the shot. This is going to go in the scoreboard as a sniper shot win. So uh, just a bit anemic. I wish Tabsies would take some inspiration from Sauerkraut, because Sauerkraut's play has been inspiring, I would say, is a good word for it.
especially on
Not
the
always
Spy side. It's been really
not
impressive.
always perfect, but just it's been the sort of play that you can go, oh, okay, I could do that. I can walk up to a statue and swap it and walk away. That's not mechanically difficult. Maybe not, it's not the lessons learned from this particular set, but I mean, either way, Sauerkraut is now on match point. I don't feel like I'm mistaken saying
Yep,
that.
now on
So
match point. Sauerkraut on 8, Tabsies on 3, one more on the library. This time, Tabsies on the sniper side, desperately trying to stay in this match. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
just to remind people, this is Copper 2, and it was such a rough division to get out of entirely. Rhythmic Sheep, Verdrus, and Ytterbejim are all also very solid players, very much at the level of Tabsies. Perhaps not at the level of Sauerkraut. If Sauerkraut's going to continue playing this well,
Oh!
okay. Okay. Good job, Tabsies.
So yeah, Sauerkraut just takes a open white purloin and Tabsies sees it, and that's the end of that game. Sometimes that's all it takes in SpyParty.
I'm trying to find a way to compliment Tabsies, and I mean, he just
There
found
it
a white
is.
microfilm. Good job. But I was also saying complimenting Sauerkraut, and he goes and does the silliest thing that you can do, which is fail to hit a green test on microfilm. To note for anybody who doesn't catch the sarcasm, green tests are not a choice. There's a bit of skill to it, but you can't like go, I would like a green today. Thank you very much. We're on to
Yeah,
Courtyard.
even for like some of the highest level players in the game, green test percentage is like 60%.
And if you could choose when you could get your green tests, like every time that you're doing a purloin, it'd be nice. But actually, it gets harder, right? Because it just gets more nervous. More important it is, the harder it is to hit. We're on to Courtyard.
Also,
Tabsies.
it wasn't a bad time to try it either because
Nope.
both the Amba and Toby were on the complete opposite end of the venue. It was just kind of weird luck that Tabsies was looking when he was.
Yeah, bad sniper. Not looking at what they're meant to be looking. How dare them? I
Either
agree.
way, Courtyard next. Tabsies on the spy. This is not the place you want to be when you need a spy win, but here we are. Let's see what he can do in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I'm not 100% confident, but I'm gonna say it anyways. I'm pretty sure Tabsi's only spy win was on the Taehyun game where they did a really good frame, and it was really
I was
good. But the idea of completing missions here is scary because Sauerkraut has just shot us every time that we've gotten close, or not. Sometimes even when we're not particularly close to completing missions. And Courtyard is a map that is the idea of framing is going to be pretty difficult. Uh, AI do get shot; they will go get two fingerprints and get themselves shot, but it's hard to do proactively because something like Purloin is really your best option, and that's kind of
And even
not.
then, the sniper angle is so high that it's just so easy for the sniper to keep perfect track of what all of the purloin chains are.
Yeah, like you have to wait for someone who you want to die to reject in front of you, and then also hit the green test. Like, really, when we talk about Courtyard, Plan A and Plan B, also Plan C, are complete missions.
So Tapsies is moving a little bit faster this time. 51% on the flirt off the top of the game. Now in conversation with the double agent, waiting for a good opportunity to pull the trigger on this contact. Also
I mean, that would be
eyeing up
brilliant.
statues, but the
It
clock
wouldn't
is starting to tick down a bit.
wouldn't have
Give me
known
in the
it,
red.
but doing it a few seconds ago, right as Queen walked straight into conversation, would have been very framing. Instead, it ends up being a really good contact. Just all the conversations are pretty full.
Contact was very nice indeed. Into conversation we go with the seduction target, hoping to try to get this done in 2. This is a much more normally paced. Oh no, the seduction target bailed on us. That is very sad. It's a
White
white
test.
purloin! Oh no! I think it.
Five,
Oh, I
four,
think Sauerkraut
three.
might not
Oh,
be entirely sure what happened there.
and Sauerkraut, the veteran that they are at this point, doesn't take the shot. Just
Big
takes the
old
highlight.
double take when he saw that list gone, but not confident enough to pull the trigger.
but the person hasn't been to statues. So
Indeed.
you have to be confident about not giving up bugs when they haven't been anywhere near the ambassador all set. You can be 95, 99, not even that potentially, but you don't
Banana
have to
bread.
be 100% confident. Now this banana bread comes off and it's
It's a
a fake, like a clear fake for us, but I'm not sure who would potentially. That was an attempted safety off on us, but like kind of just showing us that they want to shoot Tabsies, but no, they don't
well,
have mission completion.
out they go into conversation with the suction target. But again, even if we get this done in the two flirt, which we do, we don't have enough missions because we never went to statues. And with 5 seconds left to play, there's not much we can do. We still take the bullet as we step out to head towards a possible bug. Sauerkraut. That's the match. Sauerkraut gets it done in truly convincing fashion.
Congratulations to Sauerkraut. They'll move on to Copper 1. Their SCL journey here will very much continue, and I think they'll be pretty heavy favorites in the next division because I think this was actually one of the harder divisions uh, in the lower ranks, as I was saying. Tabsies, uh, definitely a strong opponent for Sauerkraut to have to deal with, but really, Sauerkraut just kind of masterclassed it. Like, if you just want to look at like what really good spy party, like particularly the spy, but really on both sides looks like, this kind of felt
That's a
like
good
it.
game to watch.
This felt like a really good game to just go. Even the mistakes, right? Like even like the stupid swap on gallery, which I'll tease him about. Uh, like the idea, just have ideas, execute ideas. You will win probably about half of his spy games if you just continue to do clever things. Even the Tabsies frame game on Taehyun, super educational. You can do that. Like literally, if you decide I'm not gonna move, I'm not gonna let do anything stupid. I can literally AI control and complete that same game and get someone shot. You can do that against anybody. You could do that against Sauerkraut. You could do that anybody in Diamond, and you will win that game. You don't have to be Tabsies. You don't have to have 5,000 games. You just need to be able to pay a lot of attention to the party. So I think there's a lot to learn here. Either way, GG's to all of our competitors, and that includes our previous match too. But the players who won the first time they met won again, and a lot of just really strong play. It made sense why they won.
Absolutely. And that's going to do it for us tonight. So, if anybody is new around here who doesn't quite know what's going on, this game is called Spy Party. You can get it either on Steam or at spyparty.com for $25. If you get it on the website, you also get a Steam key. But Checker, one, the main dev, also has an artist. He just gets a bit more money. If you have been playing this game and you like it and you want to start getting into some competitive stuff, there's competitive options available at basically every level you can imagine. Just drop by the Discord. There's a whole bunch of really lovely people in there who will be more than glad to help you out.
Yeah, just
But
to
yeah,
go through this league, as we call it, because it's now in its seventh season, particularly in this season, is kind of works like a bit of just an ongoing ladder. We will have opponents generally with the same level of expertise as skill as you, if you're coming in brand new or if you're coming in after a few thousand games and just going, oh wait, there's a competitive scene to this. We can get you some opponents. You don't have to play Sauerkraut and be really sad because he continues to cyberbully you. Uh, we'll have some other new people just like you, ready to go. Um, Beyond that, again, thank you to our host Lazy Bear. And while this is a couple of our championship maps, we might have more championship streams. SCL is still going to be ongoing. You can always catch more of it. So if you do like what you're getting from our casts here, definitely feel free to also just follow the channel or hit us up on the Discord. Really, the two best ways to get more content for yourself. That being said, my name's Ponoob. I'm here with Taboshi, and this is SpyParty. This is SCL. Thank you
have
for
a
joining
great
us.
night.